Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus channel. Wildfires pose a significant threat to wildlife and the population living in the nearby areas. It is very tough for firefighters to tackle wildfires when they occur in remote, rugged, or inaccessible terrain. This leads to only one solution: dropping water from the skies using aircraft to combat wildfires and assist ground-based firefighting efforts, also termed aerial firefighting. The rich history of aerial firefighting dates back to the 1920s. In the early days, the pilots dropped water and fire retardant using buckets and containers from open cockpit aircrafts. Throughout the 30s, several experiments were carried out using a variety of containers, such as these 10-gallon bombs made by soldering two kerosene tins together. The containers would burst on impact, splattering the surrounding area. However, the results were not encouraging, and the falling objects were too dangerous for ground crews. The bombs were deemed unsuccessful, and the use of internal water tanks was adopted instead. Since then, aerial firefighting has evolved significantly. The United States has a well-established aerial firefighting infrastructure, including various federal, state, and local agencies. The California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, CAL FIRE, plays a vital role in combating wildfires in California. They conducted several demonstrations, such as an S-2 air tanker dropping 9,000 pounds of fire retardant in controlled environments. These demonstrations help ground crews develop an awareness of the surroundings while working around large air tankers. LATs. CAL FIRE is also planning to utilize very large air tankers, VLATs, to combat wildfires in the future. A VLAT can drop up to 170,000 pounds, almost equal to 6 Type 3 engines falling from the sky. After the Laguna fire overwhelmed the existing aviation firefighting resources, Congress developed Modular Airborne Firefighting System, MAFS program, in the 1970s. The United States Forest Service, USFS, and the Department of Defense, DoD, temporarily developed a system to convert military cargo planes into air tankers. The first MAFS unit, designated as MAFS 1, was produced in 1974. It consists of a series of 5 pressurized fire retardant tanks, with a total capacity of 2,700 US gallons. In addition to the retardant tanks, every module has a separate pressure tank that stores 1,200 psi of compressed air. Each unit weighs about 11,000 pounds that can be installed on any C-130E or C-130H aircraft. Over the years, the MAF system has been upgraded to enhance its performance and safety. In the 1990s, the MAFS 1 system was replaced with the MAFS 2 system, featuring a more advanced design. The new system has a capacity of up to 3,000 US gallons. The MAFS 2 system incorporates one large tank instead of the 5 retardant tanks in MAFS 1. It consists of 2 onboard air compressors, capable of pressurizing the system in the air. This eliminates the need for the aircraft to land at the ground-based facility, allowing prolonged firefighting operations. MAFs can be installed on a C-130 without any structural modifications. Once loaded with fire retardant, the MAFs C-130 heads to the designated wildfire area and drops the retardant from an altitude of about 150 feet. An operator activates the system to release the fire retardant through a discharge tube, typically located in place of the left rear paratroop door of the aircraft. The pilot flies the aircraft in a specific pattern to ensure accurate drops of the fire retardant. To gather detailed data about wildfires in the country, the U.S. conducts airborne campaigns using NASA's Earth Resources 2, or the ER-2 aircraft. Despite its upgrades and exterior modifications, it is essentially a variant of the U-2 reconnaissance aircraft. This single-seat aircraft, with long, narrow wings and an elongated fuselage, can fly at altitudes of up to 70,000 feet, which allows it to collect data in the upper regions of the Earth's atmosphere. The aircraft is also employed for high-altitude mapping missions. Due to its ability to fly at extreme altitudes, the ER-2 can capture detailed imagery with high spatial resolution. The ER-2 is deployed to map wildfires and gather valuable data for research and firefighting efforts. On December 17, 2017, a NASA pilot flew an ER-2 aircraft carrying Jet Propulsion Laboratories' Aviris, Airborne Visible Infrared Imaging Spectrometer instrument, to monitor Southern California wildfires. The ER-2 flew at high altitudes and collected spectral data using the Aviris instrument, including information about fire-affected areas, vegetation health, smoke plumes, and other parameters. Scientists and researchers later analyzed the collected data to support the ongoing firefighting efforts. Although public agencies are primarily responsible for conducting aerial firefighting operations, some private companies also play a significant role in combating wildfires in Australia. Coulson Aviation, a privately owned family company, use modified C-130 air tankers to carry substantial payloads of fire retardant and deliver them accurately to the fire zones. In 2021, the aviation company added the CH-47 Chinook with night mission capability to its fleet. While combating wildfires, these helicopters are filled with up to 3,000 gallons of water from lakes, rivers, or portable water tanks stationed at strategic locations. The helicopters then fly to the fire-affected areas and release the water to extinguish or slow down the fire's spread. In the U.S., the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection aims to keep 95% of fires to 10 acres or less. For this purpose, they use S2T aerial tankers that carry up to 1,200 gallons of fire retardant at 270 miles per hour to fight affected areas. CAL FIRE has 23 S2Ts that can reach remote areas in no more than 20 minutes. The S2T undergoes a series of modifications to transform it into an effective firefighting platform. These modifications include the installation of a retardant tank and associated delivery systems within the aircraft's fuselage. Since 2008, a specialist firm named Tangent Link has brought to the world's attention the extreme challenges faced by aerial firefighting pilots and crews in the fight against wildfire. In 2017, they organized an aerial firefighting Europe conference and exhibition at Nîmes-Allais-Camargue-Cévennes Airport in France, where almost 30 aircraft performed numerous aerial demonstrations outside the exhibition hangar. Aerones specified how drones could be used to combat fires in high-rise buildings, whereas Azure drones focused on the ISR role of the UAVs. Airbus helicopter H-125 and Rotex-operated K-MAX carried out a Bambi bucket drop. The helicopters collected water in a bucket and released it over a specified location. On the other hand, Heli Protection flew one of their Bell 212 helicopters and dropped water in front of 200 or more spectators. In Australia, the Ericsson S-64 air crane is the world's most proven Type 1 helicopter with a successful track record of aerial firefighting operations. The air crane has a unique ability to refill its 10,000-liter tank in 45 seconds with its flexible hose snorkel. The Ericsson air crane can deliver fresh water, salt water, or retardant in various configurable drop patterns. The aircraft can quickly access austere and remote areas of Australia to battle the blaze strategically. Upon viewing such an impressive feat of technological readiness, it is safe to say that aerial firefighting is evolving. The use of unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs has changed the course of aerial firefighting, as they are equipped with advanced imaging technologies for mapping wildfires and detecting hotspots. Who knows? Perhaps in the future, drones may drop thousands of gallons of water or fire retardants, like air tankers. This advancement could revolutionize aerial firefighting capabilities around the world. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our new content. See you next time.